Hi there, this is Diecast channel, and in this video we're going to do a review on those Brazilian cars made back in the 1970s. These are Chevrolet Opalas, which are basically the Opel Record C with some modifications for the Brazilian market. These particular model cars are made in the 1:64 scale by BR Classics. So we're going to see through the details on these cars, and if you're interested in some further information on such cars, stay with me to the end of this video because we are going to unpack these cars and take a look at their details right now. I've already unpacked them before, but today we're going to go through its details. Let's go on. Chevrolet Opala was a car that was launched in Brazil back in 1968 and it was produced until 1992. One car that was made by Mattel in the Hot Wheels that's named Chevrolet SS. Chevrolet SS is actually a Chevrolet Opala SS 1974. From 1968 to 1971, the only body that was available for this car was this four-door sedan, such as these two cars we see in this video. The very first car that was produced in Brazil was basically the German Opel record that was somewhat Americanized in style, having the front end inspired in the 1968 to 1972 Chevy Nova. That's the reason we see so many similarities between those two cars. The rear end, on the other hand, from 1968 to 1974 reminds a little the rear end of a 1967 Chevrolet Chevelle. This car was considered a compact for the American standards, but sort of an intermediate to full-size to Brazilian standards. In 1966, the Ford Galaxy was introduced. That was basically the 1966 American Ford Galaxy made as a 1967 model. And this car was a full-size car, so General Motors need to have a competitor for this car. But on the other hand, it was way too expensive to bring the Chevrolet Impala to Brazil. And so one option was to produce the German Opel record that was American designed for Germany. And the car was good, but the powertrain was considered a little bit too complex. So perhaps an American powertrain would be better for the market at the time. Besides, the engines could be produced in Brazilian territory, and from one engine, the other engine could be developed. So the 2.5 four-cylinder 153 cubic inch and the 3,800 liter inline six were introduced for this car. We have, in this case, a 1971 Opala SS and a 1972 Opala Luxo. That's deluxe. These model cars were made by BR Classics, which is a partnership between two Brazilian companies, and they were made with a very good quality in the 1:64 scale. They're very realistic and very according to the original models, so we're going to take a look at these details right now. First, let's check on the scale. This car is supposed to be 4 meters and 58 centimeters long and 1 meter 0.758 centimeters. In order to check whether the scale is correct, we must take the length of a car in centimeters and divide by 64. That's the scale. And we're going to come up with 7.15 centimeters. And about the width, 1.758 divided by 64, we come up with 2.75 centimeters. So the model car is supposed to be 7.15 centimeters long by 2.75 centimeters wide. Let's check it. I kept the car on the base to do such measurements. I'm going to use an ordinary ruler. So from bumper to bumper, we come up with 7.15 centimeters. It's really correct. In order to check the width, we're going to position the ruler right here in order to align the zero to the door handle and the last dimension with the side view mirror, and we're going to come up with 2.75 centimeters. So measurements are correct. The car is in a correct scale. The other car is just the same. By looking at the front of a car, the grille is correct. Those two U-shaped elements that were present for 1971 and 1972 with the GM bow tie and this badge right here in the center, that's correct, as well as the headlights that are correct in their bezels. The only thing they've missed is the parking lights that were supposed to be here under the bumper. The bumper and the bumper guards are correct for the gear. and the lines are excellent. The cowl that's within this depression we have here, and the windshield wipers are separate parts, so these are very accurate. Interior also looks very nice with the bench seat and the gear lever right here in the steering column. We also have those louvers atop the dashboard that existed in the real car, so they've reproduced this very well. And the flat black paint for the top looks excellent. And the trim around the window openings looks excellent and very accurate. The mirror is in the correct position. Trim around the wheel wells also looks correct and goes all the way to the bottom line of the car and to the rear wheel wells as well. Tail lights look correct as well, but they've missed the reverse lights that were supposed to be here in a similar way to the parking lights in the front. Rear trim is correct with the Chevrolet. Rear bumper doesn't have the bumper guards. Would be a mistake since this should be here, but the car is still very nice and very correct, especially considering the scale. Gas cap is in the correct position. Right here we notice the trunk lock, very tiny and well-made details for a 1:64 scale. Very nice wheels and tires with the correct wheel covers that were made of stainless steel for this year. For 1971, the SS, that was a sedan. We can see 1970 here, but this year is actually wrong since the first SS was only launched in 1971 and they were all 6-cylinder. So this is a 4.1 liter, as we can see here, 4,100 sticker with those pinstripes that used to go all the way from front to rear of the car. Those side corners that follow the same pattern we had for the grille. The grille is pretty correct with the SS badge in the center and then the Chevrolet in the hood. This hood really reminds a little bit the one of a Chevy Nova. And those SS stripes, similar to the ones we find in SS American cars such as Camaros and Chevelles. As it happened to the other one, they've missed the parking lights that should be here. Pinstripes are correct with an SS badge. Similar to Magnum wheels, they were not really nicknamed Magnum wheels, but they were nicknamed Clover wheels. They look very nice. The interior also looks very nice. But the steering wheel is actually wrong. It should be a 3-spoke steering wheel, similar to the ones that were present for American SS cars. And the car is not supposed to have a 3 in the tree, but a 4 on the floor with individual seats. Nicely made diecast model car. Tail lights are correct. This flat black paint is also correct. It's a little bit shiny, but was flat black in the actual car, but still looks very nice with the Chevrolet SS logo. The 2 reverse lights are cast in metal, although they are not painted white. The bumper guards for both bumpers. The color looks excellent. From 0 to 10, I would give a 10 to both of these models. They are made with a very good quality, and if you get to know the real car, you're going to see that they are very realistic and they are very correct and accurate compared to the real things. Besides, they have some details we cannot find in some premium model cars from other brands, such as the headlights, the tail lights, the mirrors, the windshield wipers, and all those details, the wheels and tires that were made with perfection, all logos and badges. They were very well made in the 1:64 scale with a very high level of accuracy, and the colors are also very accurate according to the colors that were available for such cars at the time. So I'd like to thank you for all likes and views, for all subscriptions. Please don't forget to subscribe in case you haven't subscribed yet. And let me know down in your comments what you think about the videos and about the cars. Do you have any more information or more curiosities about the Chevrolet Opala? Want to know a little bit more? Write down in your comments. And if you have any further information, share with us. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.